I was laying in the motel bed between the service and like the repast shit. I caught it like at that first minute of the clip coming up. And I looked over at Key. I'm like, I think they just shot Trump. And she was like, you and your YouTube rabbit holes. I'm like, no. I think they really just shot Donald Trump.
Yeah. Like live.
I think like 1 minute ago, I kept hitting refresh. I was like, okay, they shot Donald Trump. He was like, can you stop with this bullshit? I'm like, no, look.
Was that Julian that sent the Twitter link?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody has sent the Twitter link to the chat.
I sent it very quickly.
I clicked it and it was already deleted. So I was like, oh, this must be some internet bullshit video that got taken down immediately. So I didn't pay no mind. And then literally 5 minutes later, my phone started blowing up.
Yeah.
And my homeboy was like, yo, Trump just got shot. So I said, what? I said, yo, cut it out.
Because at first I thought they would like, someone doctored the video. Like he ducked and then someone just added like shots in the background.
Because that's what happens now. That's what happens. And that's the dangerous thing about like today with social media and, people being able to dock the videos and cut clips and things like that. You almost don't know what to believe because that was the probably general feeling about this when it first broke was it's not real. It's fake and this, that, and the third.
Or like someone shot a mile away at something else and they just heard it and he ducked and that's what I thought in the beginning of this. Well, we got more and more details as the day went and even up until this morning on my way here, there's been more details.
Well, it's going to be, we're days away.
Yeah, I think we're really far from hearing the end of this.
But months ago, I did come on here and say that they would attempt to shoot and kill Donald Trump and Rory kind of like brushed it off. And I said, but the thing about it is if they do kill Donald Trump, which I hope and pray it doesn't happen, but if they do, I don't think people would care. I think people would continue scrolling. And Rory, you said that's absolutely crazy to think that because that's former president being killed. And I said, I truly don't think that people would care. And after this happened, I think my feelings are more solidified and more that people would not care. Because when this happened, people thought it was fake. And then when they found out it was real, it's staged. Why would Donald Trump stage to get shot?
Okay, I'm not coming in here with my tinfoil hat on today. I promise I'm not going to go in my crazy rabbit hole conspiracy theory bag. I'm just going to state the obvious that's in front of my face that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Mm-hmm. You're telling me some 20-year-old fucking kid that could barely get into his rifle class in high school because he couldn't get a fucking shot together or know how to use a fucking gun somehow got on top of a roof 150 yards away from the president, former president, where they set up for weeks at Secret Society. See, I do have it on. Yeah. Secret Service.
Still got your hat on.
Somehow got on top of a roof, crawled while people were yelling, yo, there's someone crawling on the roof with a gun, and got a shot off. Also a shot that plenty of snipers that have gone both sides of the news to say is probably the easiest shot in human fucking history. It's like day one basic training sniper shot. Anyone could get that shot off. Missed 8 fucking times, caught him in the ear, and never put a social media post up. We know nothing about him. This is bullshit.
It's always that.
This is all bullshit.
I don't think it's all bullshit.
I have no theory. I'm just saying the facts of this entire thing are bullshit.
I don't think it's bullshit. I do think, obviously, the former president was shot at. Bullet obviously hit the side of his ear. But I do think that it's a lot deeper than that. Why was this kid allowed access to a rooftop 150 yards away from a presidential candidate's rally, right? And if anybody's ever been to a rally or anytime a political figure as big as Donald Trump or any other political figure are in town, especially here in New York City, you know what the security measures are. There's snipers on every rooftop. There's drones. There's Secret Service everywhere. You can't get into certain streets. So we're talking about 150 yards away. So that's something is fishy with that. Anybody that has ever worked in this type of security detail will tell you. I mean, shit, we had Pete Buttigieg here, and the Secret Service came here the day before he got here just to look at entries and exits, and
Yeah.
And this is just a recording studio. So now we talking about
we had to hide a few things.
yeah, we talking about a presidential rally. It's like
we shouldn't have this in the studio if he's coming.
Yeah, but we talking about a presidential rally and 150 yards away, a rooftop is not secured. It's just
bullshit.
It's something there that says either there was a lapse in security and he was allowed to gain access to that.
If this story is factual of what happened, where this 20-year-old kid from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, brought a ladder and climbed on top of that roof and was up there for over 5 minutes putting together his shot while the Secret Service saw him but wasn't allowed to take the shot, I am going to go full out and say this is a complete lie.
A complete lie as far as what?
Yeah, what do you call it?
What is the lie?
Who's lying?
I don't know. That's why I said I'm not here with my tinfoil hat because I don't know.
You are.
I'm saying that factually makes no fucking sense.
What doesn't make sense?
That a 20-year-old kid could case the top of a fucking building that is a direct clean shot at the former president and possibly one of the most loved and hated presidents of all time and get a clear fucking shot and sit up there for that long while people are yelling, yo, there's someone up there with a gun. Hey, police, look right there. If that is what the story they're trying to feed us, I'm saying it's absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
If it comes out that that's not the real case and we figure out that he did have some clearance from somebody, he was working with somebody, then it's making way more fucking sense.
As of right now, you're saying the information that we have, none of it makes sense.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So either there was a purposeful lack in security that allowed Trump to get shot, or it was set up by somebody, whether it's Trump team or Biden, whoever, for him to get shot.
I'm not gonna go that way, but I do think that there was a lapse in security.
That's the fact of the matter. It's always less interesting than you think, Rory.
And I do believe at the same time, because we got to remember, just it's a lot that happens when we're talking about politics and presidential campaigns and things like that. When Trump was hit with his felony charges, one of the first things they tried to do was have his security detail taken away from him. They called for the Secret Service.
That can't.
But I'm just telling you what was asked for, because
that's unconstitutional. Every president for the rest of their lives has a security
I understand
detail.
what you're saying. I'm saying that was one of the things they put on the table.
I think if they get impeached, they no longer have it, right?
Whatever it is. One of the things they asked for when he was found guilty,
fully impeached, not just tried.
When he was hit with the felony charges was, here's a guy now that has a felony charge, whatever. He needs his security detail taken away from him. I remember that was one of the first things. Now, this is why this is dangerous, because if you're saying take away his security detail, the detail that he had, was it not strong enough? Obviously it wasn't. Was there a lapse in it because it wasn't as strong? Obviously. Like, there was somebody allowed to get on the roof 150 yards away from him. So when you start to put all of these things together, and I'm not trying to go down no conspiracy hole, I'm just looking at what happened. Obviously, security missed something here. Yeah. Was it purpose? Did they miss it on purpose, or did they just not have the manpower to cover all areas the way they should have?
No fucking way that they.
I don't think it's a lack of manpower. I just think it's a lack of mistakes happen. Humans are flawed. I think they just overlooked a part of the property and didn't think anything would come
from 150 yards away. You don't.
But look at the detail how they reacted after the incident occurred. That was awful. Why did they let him stand up and expose his face, his body, raise a limb?
Well, once they said shoot her down,
we don't know the threat.
There's always a grassy knoll if you. They changed after the Ronald Reagan incident. They completely changed how Secret Service deals with presidents being out in the open. They didn't do it JFK for some fucking weird reason. They kept them in convertibles. Mm-hmm. But after Reagan got hit, they changed everything. Mm-hmm. There's no way that Secret Service allowed Donald Trump to stay there. And cool, I get it for you guys. The whole fight and let me get my shoes was a moment. If he was just shot at, why are you holding him up? I can see his face.
Yeah,
his whole body was exposed.
I can see his face right now. And he's saying, yo, let me get my shoes. I'm not saying they didn't have a great reaction. Shout out to Secret Service for jumping on top of him right away. Mm-hmm. But to hold him up for another fucking clean headshot was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Well,
So-
I think that once they knew that the shooter was down,
We know we've assessed one threat. They're unaware of everything else that's going on. Like they
Right.
said many a times, the first thing is just a decoy for a bigger thing. You literally neutralized one person. Who knows at that point that he was acting alone on this one roof? You have no idea. To have him get, and also, and again, one of my closest friends runs these details and does these rallies quite often. The thing that Trump instinctually ducked behind is fully that flag banner is all bulletproof.
Yeah,
so
of
he
course.
made the right move in the moment.
Yeah.
He did everything he was supposed to do. And whether Trump's ego or just adrenaline got the best of him, he's like, I need to get up. Security is supposed to be stay the fuck down here. We need to take care of whatever's. You never move someone from point A to point B without even understanding the scope of what's happening around you.
Well, at that
especially when
point-
it's an active shooter. And this motherfucker was standing up, at least trying to, when his team was firing back. Now you're looking at crossfire. Like they handled this so fucking poorly.
He didn't try to stand up when they was firing back. When they stood him up, they got the call that the shooter was down, and then that's when the military was on stage in front of the podium. That's when they stood up. Trump didn't want to be seen being dragged out of there with no shoes, so he said, "Where's my shoes?" He stood up, said, "Fight," whatever he said. But I think that was a moment of adrenaline. Once he sees blood, he doesn't even know where he's hit at. He just sees blood on his face, on his hand, whatever.
I don't even know if he saw it. I'd imagine his adrenaline was going crazy.
But it's adrenaline.
I think he was running. I think Trump purely off adrenaline. Yeah, I'm not even. But again, he's
listen,
not.
I don't think Trump was trying to get up. I think Secret Service did some dumb shit and picked him up.
They did a awful
Well, they have
job.
to pick him up to get him off the stage.
They never should have moved him. They never should have moved him.
They should have stayed piled on top of him until everyone was sure.
They never should have moved him.
They got that again.
And listen, we know we're not experts in this shit, but common fucking sense
I've watched
would
enough
say.
Scandal.
All I'm saying is this: once security detail gets the call that the shooter is down,
They had no idea the severity of the situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm all like. That's
I'm
not.
telling you, once the security hears shooter is down, their next job is to get the president or the presidential candidate off of that stage. They're not going to drag him off that stage. So y'all saying they stood him up. How else were they supposed to get him off the stage?
They weren't supposed to get him off the stage.
Are you kidding me? They have to get
I'm
him
not kidding
out
you.
of there.
I
What are
think
you
that they
talking
were
about?
supposed to get him off the stage, but he should have stayed.
Weird.
They stayed down until you can hear the audio. It says shooters
Yeah, I know
down.
what you're talking
The
about.
military uniform right there. They get on stage with their rifles. Now we have to move the president off of the stage. We have to get him into the car, get him out of here.
But he should have stayed.
The fact that this photo exists is insane. He just got shot
She
less than a
ducking.
minute ago.
Why is she ducking and he not?
Less than a minute ago, he got shot. Look at how exposed his body is. We don't know the severity of the situation.
You're right. But what
This photo should not
Chest,
exist.
head,
you're right.
everything.
But what I'm saying is
That's
once,
a clean shot.
right. But once the security hears shooter is down, they have to get him out of there.
They do. So, Ma,
Okay, and no, we're
we
just
get
saying
that.
that it was stupid.
By happenstance,
They do-
this was a lone shooter. At the time, they had no idea what was actually happening on those grounds. When you hear shooter down, that means one single threat is neutralized, not the
Right.
area itself is clear. So to then hear shooter down and for him to do this, I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm not blaming Trump. It's his detail. The men that are literally supposed to put their lives, and this woman, are supposed to put their lives at risk
So what were
for
they
him.
supposed to
and this woman.
Keep him down. You don't expose
They
the man.
had him
She was
down,
DEI for
Julian.
sure.
They eventually have to get him up and get him off the stage.
All right.
That's what I'm telling you. They had him down. He was down. What I'm telling you is once they hear shooters down and the military jumps on the stage and they're scanning the audience and all of the snipers on, there's only one reason they even allowed them to stand him up and get him off that stage was because they felt like we have everything covered right now. Get him off the fucking stage.
And I'm saying clearly they didn't, and that's my statement.
Well, before he got shot, clearly they didn't. Yeah, which says to me it's either a lapse in manpower and security, and it was obviously a hole that somebody exposed, which is stupid because 150 yards, one of the only rooftops out there. How could you not cover that? Which is
It ain't but one. I was gonna say it's
only
even one
roof.
rooftop.
Yeah, they've showed some aerial shots of the grounds there, and it's like maybe 3 rooftops in the
Which is
surrounding that field.
So this is what I'm saying. It's deeper than this, and Franklin Roosevelt said, if anything happens in politics, don't think it was a mistake. It was supposed to happen.
yeah.
So
And
I'm gonna just leave it at that.
And I'm not here to be on the wild conspiracy because I'm not going to Alex Jones this because someone did die. And rest in peace to the gentleman that did catch
someone
the
else
stray.
is in critical condition.
Two, I think, are in critical condition.
But that was
I'm not here to be on that type of like, oh, he put the blood pack from Hollywood on his ear when he fell. I'm not here for
that's
that.
not.
I'm saying Secret Service did not do that as an accident.
No, they did a horrible. They should be fired. Everyone on that detail should be fired.